They the Roy's new podcast, who want the smoke? Coming raw and uncut like who want this dope? Whatever you want, they for sure to cover the topic. From racial issues to fashion flies to cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is a vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of a mob, they the start of it all. You looking for a holler and holler at your rug. The professor, nothing less, coming at you with the lessons. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it hood for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, I'm love for each other. Yeah, baby, I'm love for each other. If it come down to love for each other, let me show you how pro love for each other. Love for each other. Love for each other. Love for each other. Love for each
Superman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a long overdue NM podcast. We should have been back way before then, but man, the truth is we've been just busy. And we just felt like it was time to get on during lunchtime for those who want to join us and kind of let you know about the climate of what's going on, in the real estate with inflation and everything like that. Hey, welcome back. I call him G, but Flex producer, the man behind everything that just making all this happen, man. So we want to give him props, man, because without his vision, we wouldn't even none of us would be, on this podcast. So man, we appreciate it, Flex, man, and we just want to just dive right into it, man, on the climate and what's happening, man, because a lot of people are being misled and giving incorrect information. So we just want to kind of clear some of the smoke up out there, man. And even though it's a what we call a crazy market, but it's what you can handle right now. And I tell people like everything right now that's going on, yes, things are high, inflation, everything, and all that stuff. Everybody know what's going on with that. Everything is going up, but
things high, inventory low.
Yep. And that's gonna happen. But you know what though, G? That was what that was the Fed's intent, man. That's why I believe they did it a little too late though, honestly. Because you pick the time to do this when kind of everybody is trying to get into buying a home or buying whatever, you know what I'm saying? And with rates going up like that, it's just it makes it hard, man, especially on the working class. You know what I mean?
True.
So
and right now the rates, we just announced yesterday that the Fed rate went up to 5.7, which makes banks lend money to the customer 6% higher, which is, man, that's pretty high when you're talking about homes, a few $100,000, right?
Oh man, that's a difference in, a point is a difference in about 200 to upward. You know what I'm saying? So
per month, you're talking about your payments per month.
Per month, bro, on top of your payments. So you ought to understand why, that people have that, that notion to kind of draw back on. Hey, let's see what's gonna happen. Because nobody
good friend of mine just bought a house, right? And just to let the audience know what the interest rate, how it will affect you. He didn't close, or he didn't set his rate when it was at 3. He waited and they encouraged him to wait. I think they did that intentionally. But anyway, what he did is waited to lock in his rate. And right now it's at like 5.8 or something like that. So that's the difference of like almost $500 a month that he's paying in his payment versus if he had locked in the rate when it was like 3%, 3.2% or something.
He would have. That's a 2% difference, bro. That's like $500 to $600. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had a client just like that, bro, that just closed. What happened is they called me up one day and they was like, hey man, should we lock in his rate? And I was like, well, how much is it gonna cost you to lock? And so they was like, well, it's gonna be probably about, I think the rate was like $8,000 a lock. And I was like, okay, well, what is that rate at? And it was like at it was like, I think it was a high 3.8 or 3.9 or something like that. Well, bro, when they just closed, the race was up to like, I think close to 6%. So if they paid $8,000 a lot, but if they wouldn't have paid that $8,000 a lot over the lifetime of that loan, bro, it would have cost them, probably over 100 grand just for that rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people don't realize, like I tell people, like, talk to your lenders and let them know your position. And if that rate, what happens is if they lock in that rate, right? And I tell them, if you lock and it drops, look, you get the lower rate, but you still locked into that rate where you still have to pay for it. But if it dropped lower than that, you can get that rate. And I'm like, to me, that's a good deal. Right now in the climate we in, it's good because if it goes up, your payments go up. So which one, would you rather have? And if you look at, if your rate go up, just say if you're paying $300 extra dollars because you didn't lock in that rate, that's 3 times 12. That's what, 36. That's $3,600 a year that you're paying on that. 2 years, you'll be done. You recoup amount if you were to go ahead and lock. You know what I'm saying? So
not only is it, again, long term, it's a strain, but just think dropping the extra $300-$400 a month for some families, man, that's substantial. So it's incumbent on when people are buying that they're building these good relationships with the realtor, with their lender, and all that, man. So
Oh, it is, man. I always tell them, it's good to have a good, I'm always like, regardless of who you go with, of course I want you to go with me, but I'm just saying, whoever you go with, just make sure that you have a good communicating relationship. You know what I'm saying? Y'all iron it out how y'all want to communicate. And because people can get overwhelmed in this market, man, like, especially when they don't see, they feel like nothing is happening. And it's not that you're not doing your job. It's just, it's so competitive out here in the market. Even when the interest rates are up, it's still competitive. And like a lot of people don't see that, and they're just like, man, I can't get this. Well, you got to realize you're not the only one. So that's another thing. Like you got to be patient in this process, man. So that's what I would tell people. Like if you're patient and wait, it's gonna come, but you got to be patient, and you got to be able to work with people. You know what I'm saying? Work with your realtor, work with your lender, and vice versa. They got to be able to work with you too. Now, that's I always say, my preferred lenders that I work with, man, we on point. Like when I call them and I need some, I don't have to wait till the next day. I'm not gonna wait till the next day because I feel like my clients need that information right now, and so we need it. So my lenders be on it, man. So
and that's important because it's a hard charging environment, and people investing in a lot of money. And this is one of the biggest purchases that you make. So, So I like this question or this comment from Kiki Jackson. He says, average person looks at payments more than the rate, which they're both important. So it depends on where you are. Sometimes you do need that lower rate. The lower payment. So that's why you have a interest only loan in the beginning or adjustable rate while people are trying to get, income up in the back end so they can afford more. But to Kiki point, you're right. Most people do look at the payments. Now, if you're a money person or a numbers person, that rate is everything because you're looking at the life of that loan.
Over the loan, the 30-year term, 20 or 15, whatever that term is, you're looking at that rate over that term. And so, man, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But I understand it depends on what your position is, where you at right now. And I think if that's the best thing for you, then I would say do it. It's like I've had people that come to me, open doors, this big hedge fund that's buying homes. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had like 3 or 4 clients to come to me, and one of my clients personally, that closed about a month ago. They needed to sell quick, and I was like, man, well, we can have, let's put on. I'm pretty sure I can get it sold fast, but I was like, man, you need this, like, because you need those proceeds. So you know what, go ahead and do it, man. Like, I mean, that's the best route right now, and I want to make money, but I'm not trying to knock my client out of not making no money.
No
You
doubt.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I need to figure out what's the best thing for them. And if that's
Yeah.
the best thing for them at that time, I'm all for it, man. Long as
Yeah.
it works for you, hey man, do it. You know what I
And
mean?
that's a good segue into the next discussion. I think is important to talk about is you talk about your monthly payments.
Mhm.
People are moving into homes and they are at the edge of affordability. So, I know you've talked about that you try to convince your buyers to get rid of unnecessary spending. And some of the
Yes.
unnecessary spending we talk about, whether it's a $200 cable bill, and I'm saying that from my experience. I remember myself, T. Will,
Yes,
I was
sir.
able to reduce my monthly expenses like $700 because I got rid of my $200 cable bill. I was on an old cell phone plan where I was paying like $180 a month. I had a
Mhm.
couple of those monthly subscriptions that were just renewing every month. That was around 100 some bucks. My homeowner's insurance, and my automobile insurance. By the time I adjusted all those things, man, this is no lie. I saved myself about $680 a month of money that it was just out there getting wasted. So, in your experience, what does that look like when you're working with your clients to try to get them to get rid of unnecessary spending?
Man, I'm glad you bring that up, G, because this is what I like to do, man. I tell my clients, like, that's why I do consultation, because I want to make sure we're on the same page and we're able to work together, right? So I go down to finances. Like I've had people to tell me, man, I don't want to be house poor, and I'm like, well, look, what you mean when you say that? And they go to explain, and I said, well, let's comb through your finances. Let me see what you're doing. And I said, I'm not in your business, but I am in your business because I want to show you something. I want to show you that you do have this money somewhere. You just have to be committed, and
Yeah.
you got to make a sacrifice with it. So we'll comb through, some finances and stuff. And I say, okay, look, this here, and you got this coming out a month. Well, you may have to cut back on some things, or you may have to cut some things out, but you do have it. And my thing is, once you become committed to doing that, it's like you really ain't gave nothing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking at this. Kiki, thanks for your questions. I mean, she got some good stuff on her. Like she said, that one you had up early, especially if you purchase your home at an older age, a 30-year loan for a 45-year-old buyer is pointless. Well, here's the deal, Kiki. It's really not, because this is how people build wealth. This is the way right now in this 2-year period. If you would have bought a home that was, say, for instance, 200,000 right before the pandemic hit, that home, I guarantee you right now, will probably be about 450, 400, 450.
Yeah.
So as you paying that mortgage down, and if you decided to sell, man, where do you know you can make $200,000 in a 2-year period just sitting on a home, buying a home? This is what I tell people about real estate. Like right now, this is not normal of what's been going on the last 2 years. I get it. And that's why you have to position yourself when stuff like this happen. You can be a player and not a spectator sitting back watching the game, because
Yeah.
this stuff been going on for years. It's
Yeah.
just that a lot of us haven't been able to get into this because we didn't know. We didn't know nothing about this. And when
Yeah.
we
And here's
came into it, go
another
ahead.
thing to think about with Kiki, because I get what he's saying. He said also he didn't want to leave the family debt. When you're 45, buying a 30-year mortgage, you're not going to pay it off before. But here's the thing: that home is more than just a roof and a payment. Man, you're talking about
Yes.
the ability to build equity as you get older and the refinance. And you remember, we're talking about potentially generational benefits. It's not just for you. If you can pass that down to your children and put them at a position to benefit from with your decision made, it can make the world different. And that home equity or cash out, line of credit or however you want to do it, man, that is that's
That's a
heavy.
game changer.
Yeah,
That's
when
a
you
game
need
changer.
to Yeah.
That's a game changer. Cause like
Yeah.
he's like I get what Kiki's saying though. He's saying like
Yeah.
he said like life at 45 might leave her, then leave the family debt. Well, it's you can look at it as debt, but the thing is they got options. Without it, you have no options. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So like if something happened and you got that house and you left it to your family and your family said, even if they said worst case scenario, we don't even want to deal with that no more, which you find a lot of people do. That's why you have these wholesalers and stuff like that, because a lot of family, they just passed it on. You might have families out of state. They don't want to, they don't even want to deal with it, right? So they'll just sell that house for, they don't, if the house worth 200, they'll sell it for 150, 100. Somebody come in and double up off of that. But it gives that family to have that equity that you started, that you
Yeah.
built for them. So you see how that works. That equity thing is real, man. And a lot of people don't really like jive to that, like equity is like
Yeah.
how you're building wealth.
It gives you them opportunity just to be players in the market. Just say that they do want to sell it because, here's the thing: a lot of people are moving from the rural areas into the more urban areas. Well, if
Yeah.
they decide to sell it, that's at their that's their decision to make. They can sell it. They got a lot of equity, usually a few $100,000. They got to go and play. Or if they want to cash out and pay off bills or medical expenses, college for the kids, a number of things, man. So in my mind, in each person's situation is different. But
Yes, it is.
even if you purchase a home at a later date, it could potentially be a huge benefit for you and your kids.
And you know what? A lot of people get in the notion like, oh, if we ain't got this type of home, that type of home, then we ain't. You got to start somewhere and build. I don't care if the home is 25,000, 35, 45, 50,000. You can still take that home and build equity off of that home. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you have to realize, man, this real estate game is real out here, man.
yeah.
But and I'm looking at this question. It's not changing. Yes, yes. What
Which
Stacy
one?
said, the one you got up now with Stacy
Okay.
saying,
Yeah, I'll
she
get
could.
ready real quick. Said good stuff. That's what I just did. Netflix, sell bills, not traveling as much. That's hard for me.
Yeah.
Rent is steady going up. Saving is the key to purchasing with good credit in this economy. It's not changing anytime soon.
No, and you that's why you have to be a good steward of your finances. And this is why I preach this stuff, man. Like, look, if you don't put yourself in a position and you're not really looking at your finances on a daily or weekly basis, man, that you gotta face the music, man. You gotta
Yeah,
be able to know what you're dealing with. So that's why
yeah,
I'm real big on looking at going over finances and
yeah.
looking at where you at.
And the code said, right, investing in the right insurance plans that will pay off your mortgage.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That is, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just something that just not, it wasn't big in the black community when we, I know me growing up, I didn't know nothing about that. I ran into it. I had a partner that does it, and I just got it about like 2 years ago. No, it was like a year and a half ago. But I got it like a year and a half ago. A UIL, Universal life insurance policy, something like that.
Yeah.
UI, what is it? UIL, something like that. Universal life insurance policy, something like that. But anyway, what it does is, so you have this policy that you can put money into, um, and once you build that account up, so instead of putting money in a savings account, you can get that universal life index policy, and you can dump money into that. And once you get up to say like 50,000 or 100,000 or 200,000, what you do is you borrow from that policy. You don't take your money out, you're borrowing against that policy.
Yeah.
And then you're paying a small percentage back. So you're earning interest while your money is still building interest. So it was something new to me that I just learned, but I looked at it as an investment tool, because when I need to go invest, when I see a property that I need to invest in and I need the money right away, man, I can go pull that money from that policy, man.
Yeah.
And that policy is still earning
Yeah.
interest. So you just using your money as collateral to borrow against it. But it's a good thing to
Yeah.
look into, man. So if y'all need any information on it, hit me up offline, and I can get you in contact with
Yeah.
my insurance person, and let y'all kind of you know, because you have to see if it worked for you. I know it'll work for me because it's an investment tool.
Yeah, no doubt. Good there. So Kiki, what this user said, consider myself pretty smart. Didn't even know what equity was in 2015, and we talked about that yesterday as well. It's one of the best kept secrets, and I think it's intentional in our
Is.
community. You know, they keep people blind to intentionally. Some lenders, not all of them. You know, want to.
No, no. I
Yeah,
mean, we have to be honest with each other. I mean,
yeah,
just go back in time. Well, I mean, you know, redlining. You know, look at
yeah,
how everything was done. Way. I mean, it's not a secret, bro. It's that stuff is still happening up under the table. You know,
yeah.
people
So
just
here's
not.
another one. The good old credit, man. Kiki said, "Love y'all." Also advise us on credit improvement. So there's no magic bullet, but there are some relatively easy moves that you can make to improve your credit score, which is just a small piece of what your credit worthiness is. But one of the ones, too, where you told me, and I've shared it with some folks, is if you have a credit card, you put all your expenses on that credit card, and then you
Everything.
make several payments a month. And tell me what that does to your credit, if you don't mind sharing.
Okay, so that helps your credit by because you looking at it, it looks at your payment histories too, how you pay on your accounts as well.
Mhm.
So if you look at there's two important dates, that's your statement date and your due date on your credit cards. And this is what I tell people. If you're gonna pay your credit card, if you're gonna pay that credit card off in full balance every month, why not send two payments? Because now I look at your payment history and it looks at that and say, oh, this person is, you know, they good, they paying, you know, these payments two times a month. So that helps out your credit as well. That helps boost it as well. So after that statement date, if you pay, just say for instance, if your credit card balance is 1,000, you pay 500 3 days after that statement date, and then before the 5 days before the due date, you pay the other 500. Now you paid it off, and you done made two payments instead of looking like one payment. Now it's looking like two payments. So now your payment history is steady increasing, and
Yeah,
it's helping your credit. So that's another good thing. It's just little small things like that people don't know. I didn't know till I got into credit about um, 5 years ago.
yeah,
I've been doing it consistently about 10, but really about 5 years ago is when I really started getting into credit and just doing it myself and just figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And kind of like, so I got a pretty good insight on it now.
yeah. And I told one of my good friends that, and she's doing that, and I started doing it. I saw like a 40 point over 2 months, 40
Hmm.
point increase, and
Yep.
because you're making on time payments and you're
Yes.
using that thing. So, and I did a couple of
Utilization
things.
as well.
Yeah, the
Utilization as well. You
utilization,
want to keep it down.
and I got some old addresses and those wrong names off as well, and all
Remove.
that was able to increase the thing.
Now,
So
now, G, did you call and do that, or did you mail in? What did you
I
or
mailed
did you
in the
go on?
letter.
Okay, because
Yeah,
you know you can call and do that.
I didn't. No.
I got all three numbers, man. You can call and do it,
Okay.
man. Like if you got something erroneous, your name, a phone number, an old address. You know, sometimes now if it's a debt related to it and it's attached to that address, sometimes it won't just they won't let you remove it because it's attached to that debt. But it also depends on who you're talking to when you call in too. Because some people, you know, they just working there and they just like, all right, forget it, man. We'll just remove it.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you don't get the answer you want, call back later on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, Kiki said, I need to improve my. Hey, give me get. I'm gonna give you offline. Get with me offline. I'm gonna put G gonna put my info up here. You can contact me. But
Yeah.
man, I like showing people this stuff because I feel like this is something that it wasn't given to us. It was kind of hid from us. And like I remember when I was about 19, 18, and I messed up my credit. And man, it felt like I remember when I was in the military and I went to get a car, man, they was talking about I needed a cosigner and all this stuff. And I was like, man, I don't know nobody who can cosign for me. And I just went into the bank, man, and I said, I need to talk to the president. Cause this is what I know. You know, banks, they use your money, right? And if I was thinking, I didn't even know this at the time, but I was thinking, hey man, if y'all I think I had about $5,000 in their account. And I went to the president. I said, hey, if you don't give me a loan on this car, because the car was number like the car was like $4,500. That's the crazy thing. I had 5,000 in the bank. I said, man, if y'all don't give me this loan, I'm gonna take all my money out this bank and go somewhere else and do business with somebody who want to do business with me. I didn't even know. I was just saying this, as somebody didn't know no better. I was just thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And man, when I told that president at that bank that, he told me, all right, Mr. Williams, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this for you and see how how you work this out with the loan and if you can get this. Man, that was like the introduction that I learned about loans, man. Because after that, all my cars, I went, and all my vehicles I went to the bank just like that. I would go get pre-approved. I would always have my stuff done. And when I go to these lots, man, how they try to get you to run because they want to run you through all these because they get a kickback on it too.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I would tell them I don't need y'all. I already got I would tell them I had cash. And I know I didn't, but I had the cash I had the backing from the bank. I was already pre-approved, so I can get what I want. I just need to negotiate the price. And so once I learned that, man, it was game on, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Just making sure you're at a point where you can have that conversation and set your terms. But again, if your credit is shot, man, you're at their mercy, and they're gonna
oh my goodness
jump you on a 20% interest rate on a $5,000 car loan.
Man,
you're gonna pay 10 grand, 11 grand back for that car.
Hey, G, I know you remember this, like because outside the bases, you remember all them loan sharks used to be outside the bases?
Oh yeah,
man, I remember almost every base. It was like a loan short. Like you get a loan, you go get $200, you got to pay back $500. People were doing that, bro. Like,
yeah, and it's all because people get desperate. Part of it is,
not knowing.
Not
knowing. I don't even think it was desperate at the time. People just didn't know.
That's a big part of it. But there are people that get in the holes, and those places are easy. They make getting money from them easy, and that they got the big sign out there that say payday loan. And what you're going to do as a young airman or young soldier, keep right in there. They're going to sign it. And you good. So you do it. And it just funnels out of control, man. So that's the other thing too. Just when you get these certain products, man, just be sure that you're in the know of the terms. Some of these credit cards, they tell you, they'll tell you, they put it in a fine print. You might have $100 annual fee, and $50 enrollment fee, but your credit limit is $1,000, but you already $800 or owe $200 already because of certain fees. So it's just, man, read the fine print, know what you get yourself into.
Always,
it's going to save, cost yourself hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Hey, what about overdraft fees, man? Talk to us about them.
Man, you know what? That's just something I don't understand it because that's not knowing your finances, bro. That's not. Let's just be honest. That's just not taking care of yourself, man. Your finances, man. Because there's no way. And then with these fees, bro, they outrageous. Like, why would you do that to yourself? You throwing away money.
Yeah. So that's another way to kind of free up some money. So there are some banks now that are doing away with overdraft fees. So when you come again trying to put yourself in a better financial situation, I know Ally Bank, ALLY, Ally Bank is doing it. I think Bank of America, as of last month, they either reduced them or they got away with them. But they're going to eventually do away with the overdraft fees. But I think right now they may have just reduced them to $10 a month.
That's another way to make money, man. The banking industry, that's what they do, bro. They make money, and they do it on they got all these products that they make money off of. So, I
remember I was a little young soldier, man. I was wasn't managing my money right, man. No lie. I went in 7-Eleven and just got me a little banana before I went to do PT. I'm like, man, I just need some in my stomach. And I didn't have no money in there. Man, that banana cost me like $37, man. Because
ain't that something?
That overdraft fee, man. So, and
that's crazy, bro. Like, there's no way that they should, that ought to be illegal.
It is, man. But that's this free market right here. Someone said Chase gives you the option to or not to overdraft. So yeah, banks will give you the option to turn off that overdraft protection. You
know what else you can do though? Too, like back in the day, I knew when I had it, I used to attach my credit card to my bank. So if I did have any overdraft, it would take it off my credit card.
Yeah.
So that's another option as well.
Yeah. But back to your original point though, just try to be better managers of your finances. So you
Man.
know, I know Josh, man, shout out to Stone Consultants. You know, Josh has been on a few times talking about it. But Josh
Right
said
on.
there's no such thing as a miscellaneous fund. He said you need to account for every penny
Every
as much as
penny.
you can, right? Because again, when you start putting, hey, I got $500 miscellaneous fund, you're gonna spend it, you know. And not saying that that's right or wrong, but if you're trying to get your finances in check, try to account for every dollar that you spend, and if it's unnecessary, if you can go without it, you know, do that.
Man, it's I mean it's a very it's a very needed conversation that needs to be
Yeah,
talked about more
yeah,
often than less often, because man, a lot of people don't realize, man, credit, man, if it's like you don't even exist if your credit is bad.
yeah.
And unless you got a whole lot of money, and even people with a whole lot of money don't use their money, they use credit.
They use credit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they use
So I
credit, man.
mean,
That's how they keep the money. Yeah,
credit in this time right now, in this climate that we live in, is very critical
yeah,
and very important. I would tell anybody that,
yeah,
because if you don't have it, it's like, man, you don't, it's like you don't exist. I'm
yeah,
serious, man.
yeah,
It really is, because you know, you go get, whether you go get a car loan, I mean a personal loan, a mortgage, whatever, you know, the first thing they're gonna do is run your credit and look at your credit profile, and that credit profile shows who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
yeah. Credit worthiness, man. So
Yes,
another
man.
another consideration too, man. And we talk about the spending, the mindset of spending in our
Uh,
community. And in our mind, what we do is we want to, if there's an issue, hey, make more money, make more money.
yes,
And what I've learned as I, you know, mature, it's not always how much money I make, it's what I'm doing with it, you know.
yes.
And I'm a foodie, bro. I love to eat, you know, and I eat good too. So man, I spend a lot of money eating out, and just changing that habit right there, I was able to literally save hundreds of dollars a month. You know, being more particular of, and I'm not talking about bad eating too. I'm talking about cooked meals at home. I cook
Right.
2 or 3 portions. Even this is no lie. Those sites like Hello Fresh and all
Yep.
them, man, that's cheaper than eating out in these restaurants, and you get good portion control, and it's healthy. So I don't want people to eat bad, you know, and reduce their spending on food. But there's a way to do both. You can eat healthy and, you know, manage how much you spend at the same time.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you something, and people might think it's expensive, man, but you can find, bro. Like, as my wife worked nights and stuff like that, we finna get back. I gotta find me another one. So if y'all know another shelf that's good, because man, I believe in health, man. Health is wealth for real. Because if you're not healthy, you can't do a lot of these things. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna take you into longevity of your life. But man, a shelf was costing, bro. When we did it, we used to have this chef coming to the house cooking for us, and he would cook like, I mean, real good, bro. Like really good, really good meals, and he would cook like 3 meals for the week, and it was only like $150.
Hmm.
And we did the, and I'm talking about like we did the math, and like we were spending that probably in 2 days or something like that. You know what I'm
Depending on where
saying?
you go. Yeah.
So this was like 2 meals per day. You know, we bought the food, and then he would prepare it, and
Yeah.
then it was just, I mean, man, it was just, man, it was so beneficial, man.
Yeah.
And so it's just little things like that. But when you think about that, like having a shelf, oh, that's expensive. Nah, man, I ain't gonna pay all that. Man, call the shelf, find you a good shelf, talk to them, and just see how you can work that, because man, those meals are very beneficial. And I mean, because you think all this stuff, you going to fast food, man, none of this stuff is good for us. This
Yeah.
grease, all this stuff that's in this
So they
food,
say if you ain't paying for it now, you're gonna pay it on the back end
you're
with
gonna
those
pay for it
medical bills.
later.
At
You're gonna
Will,
pay for
somebody just text me, said, did he say chef? Like you out here, you paying for a chef?
Say, but it's not. That's what I'm saying. When you say, I said the same thing when somebody bought it to me. I was like, man, I ain't getting no, I can't pay for no shelf. But as I got to shopping around, I was talking to different shelves, and interviewed them, and just said, look, man, I'm on a budget. This is what I can afford. If I buy it, can you prepare it, and can you come to the house and just you come to the house, prepare it for 3 days, and then just cook it, like we want it, prepare it like we want it, and we would
Yeah,
just, warm it up in the oven. Man, that was like that was some of the best food I'd never
yeah,
outside my wife food, but that's some of the best food I've ever had, man. But I'm telling you, man, it's really not that expensive what people
yeah,
think. Just I gotta look up one now. We've been so on the go, and doing things. But man, I'm
yeah,
telling you, man, your health, man, is very
yeah,
important, because if you're not healthy, none of this stuff makes sense anyway.
yeah. So here's another one I want us to hit before we get off of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Got a few of my classmates, Stacy Lincoln, appreciate you. Kiki
Right
Jackson, my
on.
military buddy. Mia Nicole, you know her. You talked to her on some real estate deals. So appreciate
Yes,
everybody
indeed.
tuning in. But here's the thing. So we going back to buying a home. There's some other considerations that people should think about when they're saying yes or no to buying a home. What happened during COVID is that a lot of jobs went remote. People working from home, if not full time, you know, at least 2 or 3 times a week. So
Hmm.
I'm saying that to say that maybe moving outside of the city limits to where it's less expensive to purchase a home is an option. If you're not having to commute in every day, here's a real life story. My neighbor from California, he moved here, sold his $1 million+ home, bought a house in my neighborhood for 300 some thousand, and he only have to fly to California once or twice a month. But the cost of living is less. He sold his house and moved to an area where it's just a lot more affordable. So if you can work remote, moving to somewhere where it's less expensive is an option.
Yeah. Yeah, that's becoming more and more of the norm now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, people are commuting, man, because now they figured out now you can do that. You know what I'm saying? You can live in Texas and work in Cali or New York or Florida, any of those, Chicago, any of those places. So now the remote work is done, and people know you can do that. Now they're moving in more affordable places. You know what I'm saying? Where the housing market is a lot more affordable. And
man,
so,
it's flocking to Texas, man.
oh man, we hey man, we hey, we over the limit. We over the limit, man. I'm telling you, we don't
We
need
be
no
telling
more,
people to stay
man.
away.
Like,
We don't know nobody else to come here.
yeah, man. Well, and then it's kind of driving up our market, man. So it's
Yeah,
done. That's why Texas market did the fool, man, because
yeah,
we had people moving here just throwing money at these houses, and
yeah,
it just, it kind of it knocked some people out of the buying homes, man, because
yeah,
of the market, what it did. So I mean, it's crazy, but
yeah,
I tell people this though too, G, that even though things are higher, interest rates are higher, there's always an exit, and you always have to be thinking like that.
yeah,
Because I tell people, like, okay, you might say this house is high, but what it's gonna be like in 6 months or a year? Is it gonna get higher? And you
yeah,
be done really price yourself out. So my thing is this: if you can do it, do it. If you can't, don't worry about it, because it's gonna you're gonna get your time is gonna come. But
yeah,
if for those that can do it, because there's an out. And let me tell you what that out is. So if you buy now at six, I mean at 5% or 6% interest rate, right? And in 6 months, that interest rate go up to 6.5 or 7. Man, you just copped the deal. Now, in 6 months to a year, if that interest rate drop, guess what? You
yeah,
can refi. You still cop a deal. So
yeah.
there's always an exit. You just have to know. You just have to know your strategy to get in and out this deal. And that's what I mean about knowing your situation and knowing how to get in and out of stuff.
Yeah. So you talk to a lot of people, man, and you talk to them about their credit,
Mhm.
finances. You talk to them, of course, about buying a home. So how can they
Yes,
get in
sir.
touch with you if they even just want to consider if the time is right to purchase a home?
Man, you can hit me up. You can always call me or text me. Um, 903-705-3547. That's where you can always get me, man. If I'm on the phone and you call me and you text me, I'm usually on the phone. I'm doing something, I'm telling you. So I'll text you right back, and then, we'll set up a time and do a consultation. You
Yeah.
can also email me at e- uh my email is info@carltwilliams.com, or you can email me at this other one, carltwilliams@yahoo.com. But just remember, info at carltwilliams.com. Everything is gonna be with me as Carl T. Williams, because I want you to call me. And then my website, call www.calltwilliams.com.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, and I think, let me see, it was one earlier. Go back, Flex. It was one earlier. It was with it was earlier when we got on.
Here go one from let's hit this one.
It was for
What's
somebody
your
saying,
opinion? Providence is passing the no Section 8 rental. Man, I ain't surprised. So one thing that affects, if we just be honest, I'm glad we got this space so we can just be frank and be honest.
yeah,
Section 8 generally can drive down the prices. And the whys, we can get into that if you want, but I don't like it, man. It's just another way of redlining, I think. And the thing is, when people hear Section 8, they automatically think black and brown people.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, man. I've seen any race benefit from Section 8. The thing is, when they start enacting rules like this, you consider the why behind it. And you hate it. But I think it goes back to your buying power, where you buy and, getting involved with your local elected officials that can put laws in to prevent this kind of stuff, and even get involved with your HOA, man. Because they sit up there making these rules up, and a lot of us is just taking it, as it comes. So I don't like it. I think that's Dre. I don't like it, but what do you do?
Like you said, you have to get involved with these HOAs. I'm gonna tell you something. That's what the HOAs are for.
Yeah.
They don't want they want to keep your property values up. And for them to mitigate that from, anything coming in lowering your property value, they're gonna have that in the covenants. That is what it is. This is why I tell people about, I don't care how much money you make. You have to be a good steward of your finances. If you make, and I know 30, 40, that might seem like, but if you putting your money back and then you're applying for these programs to help you out, trust me, you can get what you want. It might take you a long time to get, longer than normal to get there, but there are steps to it, and you have to follow those procedures to get there. You know what I'm saying?
He said he agree with that rule until he sell. That's funny. Again, I get it. I understand why, to some degree, why it can be beneficial to the homeowner. The thing is, usually a homeowner is going to take care of a property better than a renter will. But that's not always the case. I know some people that are renters that are immaculate when it comes to the maintenance and upkeep of a home. So,
right. It's just, bro, it's just in the covenants that they in some areas they're not gonna allow that. And those are those underlining factors that, to make it a certain way, like you said, to get around things, this is how we're gonna do it. And not to say, because everybody that's on Section 8 is not a bad person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody, they just might need a little bit of help in some areas. You know what I'm saying? And
that's it.
That's all good.
And come to the show. We're gonna educate you and motivate you.
That's all, man.
Yeah. Hey, so the question that for the show is, again, can I afford a house in this market? I'm gonna let you answer that one more time before we get off, bro.
It depends on your situation. I always say this. Every client I get, when we go through their finances, and I show them where, look, this is where your money is going here. This is where your money is going here. So technically, in reality, you can't afford it. But also in reality, if you want to do this, if you're going to be committed to this, you know what I'm saying? You have to change your mindset on what you're trying to do. If you don't change that, ain't no need of us talking no more. Because
that saying is that if you can rent, you can buy, and that's generally the case.
That's the truth.
Except for there's a lot of money involved in that initial transaction. You might require down payment. Closing costs and a number of things. So,
and here's another thing. Even though this is where you got to get with the lenders, because there's different programs. Just say, for instance, if you go out far, like now, a lot of people are moving out, farther, because they're moving into the more rural areas, because it's less expensive to do so. And with you moving out in these rural areas, you got loans like USDA loans, man, where you don't pay no down payment. you know.
100%
I mean,
finance.
man, 100% financing. So it just all depends on your situation, you know. But like I said, once you get, and that's what I like to do. I like to educate people on stuff like this, so you can go to the lenders and ask these questions, like, oh, you know, what is a USDA loan? What do I need to do for that? You know what I'm
And what
saying?
is a
How much they
USDA
paying?
loan?
Yeah, you know what I'm
What's
saying? Like,
what
what?
is what's a
No, no,
USDA loan?
no. That's the what is it called? You done
Department
put
of
me on
United States Department of
Department of
Agriculture.
Agriculture. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's one of those loans that you can get out in the rural areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's good for you to
So
go
they can
way
help
out there.
develop the government gives money and incentives for us to occupy these
Yes,
rural areas so they can develop them. They talk about these developers look at 10, sometimes 20-year increments. So they've already planned to move in a certain area and they're giving tax incentives and other benefits for you to move in those areas. And USDA is one of those, right?
that's right. That's one
Yeah.
of those loans. And you know, there's other loans out there. I mean, you just have to get with a lender that, because they got different products. I don't even know all these products they be having.
Yeah.
Some of them, when I talk to them, they be new to me, and I be, well, man, educate me on this so I can educate my clients. You know what I'm saying? But
Down
all in
payment.
all, well, I was just about to jump into that one.
Mhm.
Okay, so even though there's a down payment assistance, you got to realize something: nothing is free. What I mean by that is you're paying somewhere in that loan for it. Either you're gonna have a higher interest rate on it, or some of that nature. And granted, some people need it, so that might be your situation. But if you can, I would try to stay away from it, because you might be paying more monthly than you would if you came to the table with something.
Yeah.
But it all
And that's
depends on
if
your
you got an
situation.
option. Yeah, you
Yeah.
might not have that option.
You
So
might not have that option. That's why I said it all depends on your situation. But if I can, I would, try to, save money, or, and kind of stay away from it. But if you
yeah.
need it, use it, utilize it.
Yeah. So one more time, I'm gonna pop your info up here. So if y'all looking for a realtor up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and reach out to none other than T Will, the Superman of real estate.
Hey,
And
man.
man, this Educate and Motivate, man, where we talk all things finances, whether it's home buying, credit, money management, just a number of things. Come to us, and we don't know it all, but we're gonna figure it
Nah,
out together.
that's what we're here for, though. That's
Yeah.
why we it was this how we came into this space.
Yeah.
So if we wasn't here, then we wouldn't be here to get a game to y'all. So
Yeah. One more time, give them a good nugget before we get off of here, bro.
man, if I could tell you anything, know your credit profile. Look at your credit every single day. I wake up, I look at it. Because I want to see those numbers. I want to make sure I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do every day. So if I can tell you anything, know your credit, do right by your credit, because your credit represents who you are in this world. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Good deal, man. Hey.
And if you have any questions about that, I'm not a guru or nothing in credit, but I've been dealing with it, and I know I'm pretty well versed in it, and I can show you simple ways how to get your numbers up, what to do, what not to do. And I also know other credit repair specialists and stuff
Yeah.
like that that's in the game with it too. So I mean, just hit me up, man, if you ever have any questions about it, or if you want to know about the home buying process, you've heard a lot of things about it, and you're just not sure, and you got a lot of questions, hit me up. I get them answer for you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been another episode of Educate and Motivate podcast with my boy Superman T Will, man. Appreciate you making
Hey,
it.
G, you see that shirt?
What's that? Let me see. Okay, I see you, bro. Super real. Hey, we need to change that.
Super
We need to get
dog.
one of those. What's those noises that say duh, 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 duh. Like the
Hey,
Superman,
that's coming.
bro.
Hey, you already done put me on to
Yeah.
something when you sent me that little cartoon thing, bro. It's on. I got somebody working on it.
All right. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, we'll be doing this again next week. So watch out. Again, stay ready so you don't have to be ready. Link up with
Man.
people that are knowledgeable in this in the industry that you trust, so that you're not getting rotted and taken advantage of, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, man, don't forget, we on YouTube, We on TikTok, Facebook. What other avenue we on? G.
We on IG. We on
IG.
LinkedIn.
There
Man,
you
so
go.
yeah, and this evening, I forgot to plug this up this evening, man. We got a
Got to come on
love and
now.
relationship show at 7:00. So we got some non-experts in relationship giving good advice or
Hey,
on how to have a good relationship. So man,
tune into it because it's interesting, y'all. Y'all want to hear this because I mean, you know what, man? It's good therapy. It's good
Yeah.
to talk about stuff like this because we don't have that place where we can come to and talk to about, you know, finances, relationships, and stuff like. And I'm telling you, man, this dude right here, G, he's created a platform, man, for, you know, all of us to come together and do this, man. And
Yeah.
I mean, this thing has grown so big, man. We got people from the east to the west coast, up north, south. You know, we everywhere now. But man, just tune in and support the Floor Is Yours podcast, man.
Yeah. So follow us on all those platforms. Share this show. Put the information out because what good is it if we're not reaching the masses?
Right
Appreciate
on.
everybody, and we'll see y'all this evening at 7:00 Central Standard Time for the Love and Relationship Show.
Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good afternoon.